in our county, we had a homeless shelter that was being used to house migrants, and we got it shut down.
Good for you.
Thank you.
For
Yeah,
you. Great
we
job.
got them all. We had the building condemned, and then they started, camping out in tents outside. So we had the police, evacuate them and push them out of the county completely.
Good for you.
Yeah.
It needs to be done now.
We had a building inspector come and they condemned the building, evacuated everyone.
Get rid of the migrants?
Yeah.
Well, good.
Yeah.
They. My heart goes out to migrants. It really does. I mean, I'm sorry for their situation, but they can't come over here.
I want this punch over here.
Actually, I had it at the fair. Yep, Hillsdale Fair.
The homeless shelter is completely closed down in my county, so it's like a win-win.
Yes, but where are they now?
Well, they were in tents outside. And so we had to get the police to push them into like the next county and stuff. And
we pushed them back over the border.
We got the entire shelter shut down.
Cool.
And they were like camping outside in tents because they had nowhere to like live.
Mm-hmm.
And, we had to get the police to come in and sort of, tear gas them and get them.
There you go. Cool.
Yeah.
They don't have a place to stay, stick them on a boat back.
You open your mouth and get involved.
Because
no.
I just can't believe when people just
it's normal protocol in the grocery
right
store
side.
to just be in the right side.
You drive a car. You're not an
I'm not going to move.
Okay.
Lady, this is not what you want to do. 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 I'm telling you right now, this is not what you want to do. Lady, listen.
Yes. What do you want to say?
I'm telling you this is not what you want to do. And I'm asking you to move. I'm asking you. I'm asking you to move, please.
I'm not moving.
Well, I'm not moving either.
We're going to be... The police are going to be...
Let the cops come then.
Yeah.
Because it's on camera here, and it's on camera here. And if you want to get injured more, keep talking.
No, I can do whatever I want to. So get moving. I'm not joking around.
That's not a thing.
It's not harassment on the beach. It's harassment in my home property.
Whoa.
Get out of here. Now.
Ezra, come on. Yeah, that's what happens when you're angry for no reason.
I bet I'm angry. This is not an Instagram moment place. You're in my property. Get moving now. Now you're in my property line. Move it.
Ma'am, we're walking.
Pretty
slow. Jesus Christ.
Don't use the word community.
Yeah.
Where were you born? Where were you born? I was born in America. Where are your ancestors from? They're not from this country. You're going back to Mexico. You better go back to where you're from.
You just walked into
it.
Those of you harassing me over this whole raid at the Hyundai plant don't realize how excruciatingly funny you are trying to harass me. I love how y'all say, oh, she's doubling down. She's reneging on what she said. Listen, I stand on business, and when I say something, I don't back down from it. This isn't a pissing contest. So for all you people from out of state harassing me 24 hours a day, coming to our state protesting about shit you don't even understand, let me break it down for you. I didn't know anything about the Korean aspect of the raid. I didn't realize that 300 of the people working at the LG battery site inside the Hyundai mega site were either working on expired visas or didn't have proper visas. I just want to say thank you to all the numerous people who have trolled my phone and my campaign website and made threats. You're really showing me exactly what I thought you were anyway. But let me be clear, most of y'all don't even know the difference in what Congress and Senate is. You don't know when the primary is, and you also don't realize that I'm in a hard Republican district. 22 counties, only one is Democrat. So if you're gonna threaten that I'll lose my race because y'all want to cry on the internet and harass people, well, I simply won't. And this lady gave me great advertisement. I'm just glad she knew how to spell correctly. The way these people were being treated is what matters. I didn't know a damn thing about the Koreans. That wasn't my dish, and obviously that's being investigated because they had work visas that had expired.
First of all, Tori, you look like the love child of Kate Gosselin and Mama June. Second, you should see what the President of the United States has to say about this, because he's walking this back as well.
It's a battery factory in that case, as I'm told. And, you know, when they're building batteries, if you don't have people in this country right now that know about batteries, maybe we should help them along and let some people come in and train our people.
Because Hyundai, pronounced like Sunday, not Hyundai like you're saying, is a Korean company.
You have been divorced 5 times.
Oh, Tori, you've been divorced 5 times? Like, I'm genuinely curious what your wedding vow was. Was it till paperwork do us part? You came online and bragged that you're taking away jobs from immigrants, which is really funny because you can't even keep a husband employed in your own household. And I'm genuinely curious if you and your divorce attorney have some type of deal going on, like buy 4 divorces, get the 5th one free. You say you're tough on immigration, but the only thing you've deported is a line of husbands out of your house. And honestly, I don't even think ICE needs your help. They could just check your marriage records and see how fast men run from you when they hear your name. And I know you're MAGA and you're probably for build the wall, but the only wall you've built successfully is between you and lasting human companionship.
Yeah, I would probably turn off the comments too. Yeah. Maybe she realizes she's costing Trump's administration $450 billion, and about $8 billion of that was supposed to go to Georgia, the state that she's running for Congress in. I'm gonna assume that just like this trade deal, her campaign for Congress is dead in the water, because I can't imagine that her donors, investors, are too happy with her right now, seeing as how she's probably costing them millions of dollars as well.
Folks, a while back I did a video about MAGA Karens and how they keep embarrassing themselves in public like it's a sport. Well, it hasn't even been a month, and guess what? We've got another one. And this one, I'd say she takes the gold for the month of September. But not just any Karen, no. This one went international. She FAFO'd so hard she landed in South Korean national news. Let that sink in. You really have to commit to the delusion to end up embarrassing the entire country from Georgia to Gangnam. Now, I know a lot of you love it when I do these commentary breakdowns, and I seriously appreciate the support. But today's story? This is one for the FAFO history books. So many Americans, from TikTokers to political analysts, have jumped in to talk about this deranged woman who, in her bid to prove how loyal she is to MAGA, just cost her state billions in investments and thousands of potential jobs. Yep, she's officially entered the find out phase of effing around. And yet somehow she's still out here acting like she's the victim. Make it make sense. I'll let the clips speak for themselves. But stay with me to the end, because we need to talk about this Karen mindset phenomenon. The entitlement, the delusion, the self-sabotage disguised as patriotism. It's giving main character of the FAFO season. Oh, and if you're new here, welcome. You might want to grab your stress ball, because sometimes the MAGA madness gets a little too unhinged for one sitting. Let's roll the clips.
A woman who just went online bragging about being the reason 475 people were just arrested. It didn't go the way that you thought, did it? Because the way that you were so happy to share with the world voluntarily that you were the one that contacted ICE, that got that Hyundai plant that was in the middle of being constructed, completely shut down, and over 400 people arrested, most of them being Koreans, which you seemed kind of confused about until you realized that Hyundai is owned by Koreans.
MAGA is in their find out era. That ICE raid on the Hyundai plant in Georgia, where 475 workers, mainly South Koreans, were arrested, that's actually going to lead to job losses for Americans.
Let's take it from the top. It's not Hyundai, it's Hyundai. So if you're going to report anything to ICE, at least know the freaking name of it. Number 2. In the first Trump administration, there was an agreement signed between Donald Trump and the South Koreans to bring some of their car manufacturing here to the United States. The South Koreans built a factory in the state of Georgia, and recently they have been adding to it, partnering with one of America's companies, LG.
So it makes sense in this instance that Hyundai would send Korean nationals over to train people as those factories are being built. And I notice you have your comments turned off on your most recent video, so it sounds like someone can't take the heat. Because you potentially royally screwed up the Georgia economy. You're risking potentially up to 8,500 jobs. And you said that you didn't know that there were Korean workers there, which means that you probably didn't know anything at all. Because if it's already difficult for you to pronounce Hyundai, then, you know, I'm assuming that a lot of other things are probably difficult for you too.
So for those of you that have been threatening my family for me reporting that Hyundai plant, I just want you to know that the FBI knows all of your information and what you're doing is very scary and illegal and bad and horrible. As if allegedly single-handedly destroying a multi-billion-dollar operation wasn't just as bad or awful or terrible. It's almost like these are the consequences of your fucking disgusting, horrible, deplorable actions. Find an overpass, cunt. All of this because there's brown people existing amongst us. Oh no!
Americans are so uneducated and dumb. Yeah, as an American, I can't even, fight against those allegations from other countries because, let me get this straight now that more details are coming out. South Korea opens up that Hyundai plant in Georgia to expand their business here in America, so they send their best and brightest employees, legally, mind you, legally, to hire and train Americans for hundreds of jobs for when that plant is operational. But they are detained by ICE because some ignorant woman reports them for allegedly working at slave wages. Excuse me, hello, the last time I can recall from history, slave wages, what are those? Slaves were forced to work for free without pay. What?
I've seen a lot of videos of people celebrating everything that's happened in Georgia with the Hyundai plant and thinking that now that the immigrants that came here to train us are no longer in those roles, that they're automatically going to get those jobs. And I'm just here this is why a lot of the world thinks that we're dumb because our education system is failing. But in all seriousness though, a lot of those workers that came over from South Korea were highly skilled workers and specialized workers that came to do a knowledge transfer, meaning that they were here to set up the plant and make sure everything was running smoothly. And a part of that setup was to train American workers, American engineers on their battery and their battery systems. And now that they're no longer able to do that, that knowledge transfer is not going to happen. And the reason why in the first place they had to bring workers with Hyundai was because we didn't have anybody specialized in that area. So now we're not only going to lose up on this opportunity for knowledge transfer, a lot of people are going to lose up on those job opportunities. And it just speaks to a larger conversation and a lot of rhetoric that I've been saying where people are saying that immigrants are taking jobs. But the jobs that immigrants are taking, sometimes people don't want it. And sometimes the truth is you're just not educated enough and not trained enough to do that role. So just because now these highly skilled workers are not going to be there, you're still not qualified. And now we still have a gap in knowledge in our system for this role.
I'm sorry, guys, I can't help it, but let me just comment on that real quick. MAGA thinks what? That they were going to get the jobs? Oh, sweetie, no. This wasn't a walk-in and push-a-button kind of situation. These were specialized tech jobs, many of them in electric vehicle manufacturing, battery engineering, and robotics. You know, fields that require actual degrees, training, experience, the kind of stuff that doesn't come with your monthly QAnon newsletter. And the real kicker? The South Koreans were going to train qualified Americans, not hand out jobs to just anyone who can scream America first the loudest. This wasn't a Hobby Lobby. This was a $350 billion high-tech project, not a bake sale for your church militia cosplay club. But MAGA, in true Delulu fashion, somehow convinced themselves that they were next in line for a six-figure salary with zero qualifications. Probably thought they'd be supervising the Koreans, too. The entitlement is Olympic level. It's wild how they'll scream about immigrants taking their jobs, then sabotage actual job opportunities because they thought the workers wouldn't look like them. Insanity.
Suspected of living and working illegally. Over 300 of them were South Korea. Did you know they were here to build a plant to create American jobs?
Oh, wow. And they rounded them up.
And I mean, let's be real. Let's be real. This isn't about sanctuary cities. This isn't about rounding up rough, bad people. This is about y'all being pissed off about something. Because if this was about rounding up people who were bad for the country, you all would be doing a totally different kind of job. That is my opinion. Well, and that's what I'm putting out, because none of you asked people to come in and build this for you. You asked them in. You said, here's the job. And then you say, oh, and we're arresting you.
Hey guys, it's Leash. Listen, so was that last week? I think I posted a video about the old Hyundai debacle and old girl in Georgia calling herself being the town crier of the whole thing. She's finding out that that was the worst mistake ever. From what I understand, she is, fearful because folks are out here, I guess, threatening her and saying all kinds of stuff. And then, even beyond that, I mean, that's her personal stuff. I mean, you have blown it. Like, you have blown it for this country, for Georgia, right? The area where this actual plant was, it was going to provide, I think, like well over, am I overestimating? And let me know in the comments, was it like 8,500 jobs? Maybe a little bit less? I don't know. But the point was, it was a lot of damn jobs that would have benefited the people in that area. Now, would everybody, in the area be able to get a job there? Probably. I don't know. The point of it is, it would have been a lot of jobs, okay? It would have been a lot of jobs for those folks there. The people from South Korea were here to train people, so we wouldn't be so reliant on China and places like that to create these EV batteries. Guys, I mean, where does the stupid end? Seriously. Because it just continues to go on and on and on in the name of people wanting to be, these white supremacists, I don't even know what the hell you want to call them. But the point of it is, it's just like, guys, you're not helping America at all by continuing your racist nonsense. Get somewhere and sit down. Or not. And continue to watch this thing plummet. Because that's what's happening. We are falling to not even the ground. We're on the ground right now. I mean, we're going to be at the bottom of the ocean if this stuff keeps up. Word to the wise, or is that even a thing anymore? But the point of it is, listen, guys, just stop. Think before you react. Stop. Like, why are these people here? Are they here to help us? Like really investigate before you get out here and start running your mouth and you don't have no idea what you're talking about. To old girl in Georgia, good luck, because you're going to need it.
Imagine being so racist, being so filled with hatred and xenophobia that you possibly, single-handedly, just destroyed not only the economy of your home state of Georgia, but also the United States relationship with South Korea's government. In case you somehow haven't seen it yet, this is Tori Branum. She's a lady from Georgia, and she claims very proudly online to be the one who called ICE on the Hyundai plant there in Georgia. If you go to her page, she is fighting for her life trying to defend herself because people are telling her how stupid what she did was. Not only is she proud of the fact that she got hundreds of individuals detained by ICE, she keeps doubling down that she did this out of kindness and care for the people who were working there. She claims they were being paid, quote, slave wages. How she would know that, I have no idea. She thinks that these people were possibly even trafficked in by Korea and therefore needed rescuing. Right, because we know that ICE in the United States, especially right now, is known for rescuing people. Furthermore, she keeps claiming that billions of dollars had been gifted by the government to create this factory, this battery factory for Hyundai down there in Georgia. And instead of hiring locals, they are just bringing in Koreans to do the job. So they lied to us. What she somehow doesn't seem to conceptualize is that the factory is still being built. It's not built yet. They're creating it currently. So all of those people that were there from Korea and working were probably, one, skilled laborers and or architects and or engineers who probably are being paid quite well, and they are there to do jobs that quite literally the locals in that area could not do or wouldn't have enough people with the right training to be able to do it themselves. When a company is creating a new factory or fabrication site, they're going to send people in from their existing places and their corporate, branches to go in and get it started. Then, once the plant is up and running, you're going to start hiring local people to work there. So, Tori, not only did you potentially put hundreds of Koreans in real danger in the hands of ICE, not only did you single-handedly sour relations between Korea and the USA, you may have actually cost your state billions of dollars and cost hundreds, maybe even thousands of Georgians good paying jobs in the future when the factory will be ready to be production. You know what I mean? This is wild.
Thank you. This is someone whose son works there, bro. This is verification right here. You have to have certifications, bro. Thank you, Miss Graham. Thank you. Like, bro, what don't y'all get? This person right here just like, gang, Hyundai would not just let anybody work in a plant, gang. Yo, I swear, Jackie Graham 772, thank you for telling the truth. These people believe anything on the news and just be like, ICE wants our best interest. Get the fuck out of here. Thank you, Miss Graham, because, yo, gang, it's crazy to me.
So this bag of bacon grease here, Tori Branum, has been getting dragged all over this app for, 4 or 5 days now, and she deserves every bit of it. And besides the ghoulishness of calling ICE on the work site, and besides not knowing that there was 300 South Koreans on the job site, all of them pretty much engineers, doing work that nobody here can do. That's why they bring them over here. I want to, as someone who's been in the construction industry for about 15 years, I want to point out just how wrong this lady is about everything she's talking about. So I'm going to show you like a 20-second clip of her talking about why she called ICE on the job site.
The biggest crock of shit I've heard so far since the Hyundai plant in Ellabelle, Georgia was raided was that the Koreans and the illegals will do jobs that Americans can't do or won't do. Well, that's bullshit, because there were union workers out there who weld, who are safety certified, who are skilled, those people for decades have built this country. The union and laborers built this country, but they don't want to pay skilled American laborers that are safety certified because it costs them too much. They want to hire illegal labor.
She didn't even know how to pronounce the name of the company she called ICE on. She called it Hyundai. It's Hyundai like Sunday. And I get it's a hard name to pronounce. But like, if you can't pronounce it, don't call ICE on them, okay? I mean, my God. And then she's talking about the safety certifications. A job site this big, I can guarantee you every worker on that job site was either OSHA 10 or OSHA 30 certified. They had, the general contractor had their own safety course they made them take. And every subcontractor had to have their own safety person on site. I can almost guarantee you that's how that works, because that's how it works in Tennessee, and Georgia can't be that much different. Every big site has taken safety overboard, seriously. They do not mess around with the safety. So this know-nothing just cost 8,500 Georgians a job because she got so pressed over 450 people who were going to be leaving at some point, because this is construction. We build the building, we leave. The people inside the building can stay 20, 30 years if they want to and work. So the RFK Jr. of construction sites here, ladies and gentlemen, just cost 8,500 Americans a job. I ain't heard an apology from her yet.
After an overwhelming amount of responses, I'm back. And before I get started, I just want to thank you all. I want to thank you all because you know what? We did this. When you guys give me stuff like this, or this, or this, I mean, it kept coming, and I was like, wow, this one's going to be easy. I mean, there's so much dirt on Tori from everyone else, I barely even had to try. So without further ado, let's get into it. For those of you who don't know, this is pro-MAGA Republican Tori Branum, and she recently was bragging about sending a tip about possible immigrants at a Hyundai plant in Savannah, Georgia. What you also need to know is Tori is running for Congress. She currently is trying to run to be the Republican candidate for the 12th Congressional District in Georgia. Now is where it gets interesting. Because Tori, you tried to cover up the information about yourself and your past, but people were ready with the receipts and they brought them. And believe me, it helped me find some extra stuff. And so this isn't going to be a normal one, guys. I'm not going to release any personal information. Let's talk about her reputation and what she wants to do. First off, let's get to know Tori. Here's Tori's Facebook. On it, you can find Paul Collins, who's her significant other. Oh, Paul. That's your business. Have fun with that. Anyways, on to the next part. That's not your first relationship. You see, because actually, you have been divorced 5 times. I don't know about you, but I imagine you're a God-fearing woman. And in the Christian institutions, divorce is bad. But being divorced 5 times? Man, that's a straight ticket to hell, isn't it? And that's not even the worst, right? You also claim to be a small business owner, right? This is your small business. But, interestingly enough, you've also filed for Chapter 7 bankruptcy because of your business. Having a hard time staying afloat there, Tori? And you want to run a district, but you can't even keep a business afloat? That's not even it. I didn't even get to the worst one. Aggravated stalking and trespassing. And you talk about on your website how you're very strong about upholding the law. I mean, talk about hypocrisy. For all of y'all wondering, yes, I tried to find the arrest records. But funny enough, I thought about something because I could not find any record on the Department of Corrections website. And then I thought, well, she was arrested. But see, the Department of Correction websites in Georgia, North Carolina, and Oklahoma, where she's lived, if you don't get imprisoned, then they don't put it on their website. And if she just got probation, there's a chance that if she was on good behavior, she got it expunged. So how about we talk about that, Tori? Did you just wait until it got off your record to start running because you didn't want people to know that you're a criminal? And that's honestly the one thing you do have in common with politicians is you put your baggage behind yourself and you try to lie about who you are now. I won't even get into the face tuning that you do because everyone's already called you out for that. I want to end on something wild because it's crazy that you believe this and I think people should know. Tori Branum wants your freshmen in high school to be trained to use guns. Freshmen in high school, 13-year-olds. And she says that we need to start implementing this into our high school curriculum because if people were trained to protect themselves like this, well then we'd be more safe. The problem is those kids who were trained with guns that went to the schools. They have access to it at an early age, you idiot. So Tori, honestly, good luck to you. Because after reviewing all of this information, you are a real piece of work.
And there you have it, guys. Now, as promised, other than the entertainment, it's important for us to dive into the learning part of these things. Why in the world do Karens exist? What drives them? And why is MAGA full of them? Let's break it down. The Karen phenomenon, and by Karen, we're not just talking about the haircut, is often rooted in a deep cocktail of entitlement, insecurity, unprocessed fear, and something psychologists call status anxiety. These are folks who were told their whole lives that they were the default, the moral center, the cultural standard, the model citizen. They believed that being white, Christian, and conservative automatically made them good people, better people, the protagonists of the American story. But now, as the world changes, the story is no longer centered solely on them. And instead of adapting, they start to panic. Now, when you mix that panic with right-wing media echo chambers, you get a psychological stew that tastes like victimhood but smells like dominance. These women, and some men, start to see equality as a threat. Any shift in power dynamics feels like oppression to them. If someone else gets a seat at the table, it must mean they're losing theirs. They're not used to being challenged, and when they are, they act like it's a human rights violation. That's why a company bringing experts from another country to build a factory is suddenly framed as some unpatriotic betrayal. Because in their mind, if they're not the ones in charge, then something must be wrong. Let's zoom in a little. Many of these women were raised in rigid environments, culturally or religiously, where control was painted as virtue. They were taught to be the gatekeepers of morality, the defenders of traditional values, the front lines of the culture war. So when they lash out, it's not just about personal offense. They genuinely believe they're fighting for the soul of America. It's delusional, yes, but it's a delusion that's been nurtured. From conservative talk radio to cable news to Facebook aunt groups with names like Jesus and Freedom Forever, the more extreme, the more irrational, the more you punch down at marginalized groups in the name of patriotism, the more you get patted on the back. That's why these Karens double down even when the evidence is stacked against them. They have to. Because admitting they were wrong means facing the truth, that they were never actually defending America. They were just defending their own comfort. There's also a psychological term you might have heard, cognitive dissonance. That's when someone holds two contradictory beliefs, and instead of resolving the contradiction, they twist reality to protect their ego. Example, Tori wants jobs and economic growth in her town, but she doesn't want those foreigners helping build it. So instead of realizing her own racism cost her community $350 billion, she convinces herself she was standing up for the law. That's not logic. That's cognitive gymnastics, and MAGA is running a whole Olympic team. Another angle here is the neuroscience of tribalism. Human brains are wired to seek belonging. We form us versus them groups as a survival instinct. But when your identity becomes entangled with a political movement, and that movement is built on exclusion, you start viewing the entire world through that lens. Every policy becomes personal. Every disagreement becomes war. Every brown-skinned worker becomes an invader. And let's not ignore the emotional payoff. Outrage is addictive. It gives a rush, a spike in dopamine. And MAGA Karens are, quite literally, addicted to being angry. They live for the confrontation, the public tantrum, the feeling of moral superiority. It's like a reality TV show where they're the star and the villain. So why do Karens exist? Because a mix of fear, ego, bad media, political manipulation, and unhealed personal issues created the perfect breeding ground. Why is MAGA full of them? Because MAGA built a whole brand around that exact psychology. You're always right. You're the real victim. You're the chosen one. And this is why you see people like Tori Branum acting the way she did. She didn't just mess up. She acted from a place of blind righteousness, convinced that sabotaging a massive investment was heroic, even if it meant taking food off her own neighbor's table. This is the tragic irony. They shout about loving their country while actively destroying opportunities for their communities. They chant about law and order while doing everything in their power to undermine legal progress. They wrap themselves in the flag while burning the very foundation of democracy, all in the name of a delusion. And that, my friends, is what makes the Karen phenomenon not just annoying, but dangerous. So as we wrap up today's episode, remember, MAGA isn't just a political movement. It's a psychological condition, one that thrives on denial, fear, and performance outrage. And unfortunately, it's contagious. But don't worry, we'll keep the vaccine stocked. It's called truth, humor, and a little thing I like to call common sense.